Hi everyone! So it has been a long time since I've done a will I buy it, and I have had a few people mention that they'd be interested in seeing this again, so I thought that I would give it another go and see what people thought. So I am going to stick pretty basic this time around, just to TrendMood, but if you guys would be interested in seeing or hearing about my reactions to other new products, like indie products and stuff that aren't necessarily mainstream, let me know as well. So I'm just gonna scroll through, keeping it very casual, and just talk about some of my first thoughts, my initial impressions, if you will, on these products, and you know, if I would at some point consider purchasing these things. So the first thing I see here is a Walmart makeup. We have a Wet n Wild Halloween display. I feel like Wet n Wild used to be it in the day for their Halloween makeup displays, but I mean, colorful makeup sponges, eh. The Fantasy Makers stuff just doesn't look incredibly exciting in comparison to other stuff we have now. Like, that's what made Wet n Wild's collection such a big deal back in the day, was that there wasn't anything like it, and while some of these palettes are pretty, they just don't immediately grab me as something immediately unique. Next we have from Morphe, a bunch of Morphe stuff. Oh, Morphe 2. Isn't that like the Gen Z line or something they came out with? I don't really keep up with Morphe. Brow Crush Tinted Brow Gel, Happy Glaze Lip Gloss, Gleam Catcher Illuminator, Elle Balm Lip Balm, and Prep Polish Lip Scrub. I mean, this just looks like wannabe Glossier. I don't think this is really getting anybody's attention who wasn't already purchasing Morphe. Certainly nothing grabs me there. I'm skipping over some of like the general like wrap-up things, like the posts that TrendMood does that kind of harken back to other posts. Anyway, not the point. This is a Charlotte Tilbury palette for the holidays. I know a lot of people complain about holiday stuff being released early, but this is what they've been doing for years. And I remember getting really excited in September to order things that would drop kind of like the end of September or into October. And it was very exciting to get that holiday stuff kind of early, but I get it. It is September. Not everybody's thinking about holidays, but the Instant Eye Palette, Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. I mean, has Charlotte Tilbury ever done anything kind of shocking when it comes to the color choices for her color cosmetics? No, I don't feel like that's what Charlotte Tilbury is known for anyway. Like, it's very much the perfect kind of glowy base. I think of a lot of like eyeliner and like a smoky eye. I think of a lot of neutrals. I don't think of anything kind of bold and exciting when it comes to kind of the color cosmetics. Everything's just very classic, very Hollywood. Not for me. Well, maybe for me. I'm not very taken by it. I feel like I have a lot of stuff that's very similar to that, but I like how it's divided into the 3 different sort of trios, but you can mix them all together, I'm sure. Fourth Ray Beauty, some pineapple products, Pineapple Face Milk, Pineapple Face Serum Boost. Skincare kind of interests me and intrigues me more than other products these days. I'm a big fan of pineapple as well, so I'd be curious to try Fourth Ray Beauty. I'm not big on face milk because I've used a few before, and what's the difference between the face milk and a serum? Like, I know there's so many steps, but the serum sounds interesting, and it's only $12. My apologies on that. The camera battery decided to go from 58 to 0. Literally just got that warning. It flashed and was like, battery exhausted, gone. Okay. Anyway, I was talking about the pineapple serum from Fourth Ray Beauty, and I would be interested to try that. And $12, like the ColourPop family, because I know Fourth Ray Beauty's in that family, has some pretty interesting products, and I think for skincare, I'd be interested in trying something at a lower price point. It's one of those things that's kind of intrigued me a little bit because of the combination of the ingredients they use, the packaging, and the price. What is this, a Friends collaboration? Oh, Makeup Revolution and Friends. Okay. I'm not as big of a fan of Friends as I was. Like, I literally have VHS box sets of Friends. Like, that's That's how hardcore of a Friends fan I was. But I don't know, I tried rewatching it a couple times with it being on Netflix, and I just, I couldn't quite get into it like I could before. So yeah, that's an easy pass for me. Oh my god, there's another ColourPop palette. Really? Coast to Coral. Okay, this is boring. Compared to a lot of ColourPop releases, like when they were focusing on these little 9-pan palettes and they had such beautiful themes, like coral, come on guys. Like, I guess this would be popular though. It just looks so boring. I'm just so kind of sick of those pink tones and palettes, like the pink and like just, I mean, at least if you're gonna do pink, throw in some gray in there, maybe have a little bit of a cooler tone. Like, I really want to see a color scheme similar to like the Naked 3 palette from Urban Decay that's a little bit cooler and not this, basically. I know that's not very exciting. Okay, some palettes from Huda Beauty. There is Khaki Haze Obsessions, Purple Haze Obsessions, and Sand Haze Obsession. The khaki one's really pretty. I really enjoy that color story. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, that's got pink in there, but it's also got burgundy and like an orange brown and some greens in there with the pink. Like, I think that's how you incorporate pinks. Make it a little bit more interesting, because that's still incredibly wearable. Wearable. I hate that term when it comes to makeup. I hate it because everything is wearable, but I guess it's a little bit more neutral and a little bit more everyday kind of friendly. The other two are pretty, but I feel kind of like we've seen it before. Like, it looks really familiar when I'm looking at it, and maybe not exactly in this sort of format, but like the purple one reminds me a lot of the Desert Dusk palette, just the similar sort of purple focus on there. So a lot more holiday stuff. So this is some Hourglass stuff. Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpture, Ambient Lighting Edit Mini Sculpture, Confession Lipstick Duo. Yeah, that's sort of the same stuff that Hourglass does every year, for as long as I can remember. Those little palettes and stuff, which are good if you like that kind of formula, if that works for you. I know people were complaining about sort of the price point of it based on the amount of product you get, but I mean, Hourglass is kind of on the pricier side. Like, I know that palette is $80. 3 best-selling and 3 exclusive shades, so that's pretty cool. I can't use these powders. They break me out really badly. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I had purchased one of the lighting dim light powders before and it broke me out, and I have been hesitant to try because it was the one thing that I kind of pinpointed that was really causing all these little like bumps and little breakouts all over everywhere I had used it. Collidos has some new products coming out which look so exciting. I am low-key obsessed with this brand. They have eyeshadow palettes, this beautiful one with the purple. Like, it is stunning. I'm just so taken by their theme and the way that their products work. Like, I've been using the Lo-Fi Duo blushers a lot because I really enjoy that sort of sheen. I'm not wearing it right now, but I really enjoy that kind of sheen. I guess I can see why they would put contour powders in there, but it's not as interesting to me as the eyeshadow palette with the purples is beautiful, and then the more like neutral palette still looks like it has a couple of unique shades in there that can transform your eye looks pretty easily. Like, I imagine those two sort of duochrome kind of shades as highlight shades, or even layered on top of the more neutral wearable shades, could create a lot of interesting combinations in there. I think this is a brand to watch out for sure. I think they are doing some really cool stuff, and I'm always very inspired by them. And it's been a long time since I've been so inspired by a brand, and like, I've been using the Escape Pod palette and I've been so inspired by it. Yeah, it's a brand that I hope keeps getting a lot of positive attention, and I hope people keep talking about them because I really think that they have the potential to be huge. Like, I really think that they can fill a gap that's kind of missing with that kind of just left of center kind of stuff. Also, I just want to say, if you were thinking about buying anything from Collidos, use a code. I don't have one, but Tina has one, the Fancy Face, so definitely use her code. Save yourself some money. Chanel holiday stuff. I mean, I've never been one to be interested in Chanel Beauty anyway. The few products I've tried from Chanel have been total letdowns. Definitely feel like you are paying for the name and for the packaging. That's the way those designer things go, I guess. And I don't think they're ever going to be incredibly interesting. They're just going to stick with what they know. There are some more Sephora favorite sets. Ooh, I used to love reviewing the Sephora lip kits, and this is giving me some strong flashbacks here. They used to be massive though. Like, this is the Gimme More lip set, and it has 8 lipsticks in it. Looks like Makeup Forever, YSL, another YSL red lipstick. There's always a YSL red lipstick. A KVD red liquid lipstick, which I really just think it just looks exactly like the Kat Von D liquid lipsticks. Like, I don't think it's even changed. Ilia as the dark one, a Fenty one, a Too Faced melted one, which is like always in there. Patrick Ta, which is interesting, and looks like another kind of standard NARS one. I mean, I would be tempted to purchase it for the sake of doing a review for nostalgia, but I mean, really looking at what's in there, there's probably only 2 lipsticks that I would actually see myself using. Then I'd be like the Fenty one and the Patrick Ta one, because I already have the YSL one from a previous kit, and the KVD one is Outlaw, which I have from a previous kit. The Makeup Forever is a reddish pink, which I wouldn't really use, and same goes for the NARS. And the Ilia one is pretty. It's like this dark kind of vampy color, which I'd probably wear a few times, but unless I really love the formula, I probably wouldn't wear it that much. I wish they would go back to how like the Give Me More lip set was before, where they had groups in different categories. So it was like 4 beige, 4 red, 4 burgundy, 4 pink or something like that. Because this is such a letdown. Like, there's so few products. Like, I get that there's a couple of full sizes in here, but I feel like you have to really look at these Sephora favorites kits and really determine if it's worth it for you, because it may be a good deal, but it doesn't mean it's a good deal for you. This is something that I've talked about with these before. Like, you really have to make sure you get a few products that you are going to use. Like, the Makeup Must Have kit looks pretty interesting, but like, there's a Brow Wiz in there, a full-size Brow Wiz, which is great, but it's the shade medium brown. So unless the medium brown Brow Wiz shade is gonna work for you, it's not worth it. There's also a full-size Huda Beauty lipstick in there. It's like a good, like, darker color. There's a Marc Jacobs mascara, which is good, and a NARS Orgasm blush, which pretty much everybody has, but you know, hey, if you like it. And then there's minis of a Too Faced mattifying setting powder, Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, Smashbox primer, and the KVD liquid liner mini. So you'd really have to make sure that it's enough product in there that you would actually use. And the Lash Stash, which is probably a pretty good deal. It doesn't hurt to have a bunch of different mascaras to try, and I find that I usually end up liking smaller mascaras better anyway. So I feel like Sephora could do better with these kits. Like, they really could do a whole lot better, and I feel like they need to kind of encourage other brands instead of the same stuff, like literally the exact same shades and everything. Give people an opportunity to try a brand that they haven't tried. Like, you don't need to have NARS in these things anymore. Like, give another brand a time to shine. It gets kind of boring. It gets very repetitive. There's some new stuff from Haus Labs. That's Lady Gaga's brand. That blue gloss is interesting. Is it a gloss? I think it's a gloss. That looks interesting. I don't know. I want to try Haus Labs just because I've heard so many people say so many bad things about it. And I feel like some of that's tied to how and where it's sold, because I know it's sold exclusively via Amazon. I don't know if that's enough to tear a product apart, you know? Like, I understand all the criticism, but I feel like I don't hear really unbiased reviews. Like, people either like just completely love Lady Gaga, or they hate Amazon, or some weird place in the middle. I would try it sometime. Like, it's definitely something a brand that I haven't tried yet that I would be interested in trying. There's a Morphe and Madison Beer collaboration. I don't know anything about Madison Beer. I've seen her a few things. She was on Celebrity Drag Race, and she said her favorite drag queen was Violet Chachki, which, like, I mean, you look at her and you know why her favorite queen is Violet Chachki. KKW fragrances, pass. Rare Beauty. Okay, so I really want to try Rare Beauty as well. I so love Selena Gomez. I don't even care. I don't care. I love her. What was that movie that she was in with Leighton Meester? Something Monaco. I can't remember. Anyway, not the point. I loved her in that movie. And I just think she's really such a sweet person. And from every like interview and thing that I read with her, like she just seems like a good person. And I really like that she's advocating for mental health, and that's part of what goes along with Rare Beauty. And I love that how like encouraging it is. And I like the whole general vibe that Rare Beauty gives off, which is like a more minimal makeup kind of thing, but it doesn't feel like a Glossier, or like it doesn't feel like it's unattainable like that kind of a way. It feels more like it is an attainable beauty and something that is easy to achieve. Like it's not like unrealistic like some other things. So I'm curious. I see some like eyeshadow pans for potential future releases, which would be really cool to see what they come out with. I have never tried Alamar Cosmetics either. I've heard some things from, I think, Kathleen Lights talking about Alamar Cosmetics at some point. I like that green palette, the eyeshadow palette with the green packaging. It looks very sort of like tropical inspired. It feels very summery, so that's sort of exciting to me. The other products really don't catch my eye. BH Cosmetics, Oh My God Glitter Collection. What? Why hasn't anybody told me about this? The Oh My God Glitter Collection includes Oh My God Glitter Face and Body Gel, Oh My God Glitter Chunky Face and Body Gel, Glitter Eyeliner. What? Okay, this is the stuff that's like right out of like 1999 to 2001. Oh, look at that yellow. I love it. I love it. This looks so much fun. This definitely is giving me flashbacks though to some of that like Wet n Wild body glitter. I think I still have one. Well, I have a new one I think that I found at Target last year when I was in Cleveland. But this is giving me some of those late 90s, early 2000 vibes. I love it. And very affordable. Way to go, BH Cosmetics. I wish that was easier to find here. Not that I need glitter or could justify spending like $15 on a pot of glitter, but it would be fun to look at them in person because they look really vibrant and it would be really fun. I love the glitter. There is a Glamlite Ice Cream Dream Palette. This is very bright. This is kind of like, what? Like there's a lot going on here. I feel like there's a handful of shades that look really similar and they'd probably apply very similarly on the eye, but it's a big palette. It's a big palette, but it looks really pretty. I mean, I don't get overwhelmingly ice cream vibes from this. I feel like when I think of ice cream, I actually think more of like pastel, lighter shades, but I can see how this is sort of like childhood kind of warm and fuzzy nostalgic kind of thing. Like I like the imagery there with like the clouds and the ice cream truck and stuff. Like it seems more kind of like carnival day at the fair than an ice cream, but it is really pretty. Repetitive, but pretty. I'm skipping over some of the general products and the things that are like half of a picture. That's like, leak, coming soon. There's a Too Faced, Marielle? I'm not sure who that person is. I could click on her Instagram and find out, I suppose, that easily. A YouTuber, English and Espanol. 18 million subscribers, wow. So she's got a collaboration with Too Faced and it's very Too Faced. I mean, I like that looks to be like a silver and like maybe 2 shades of silver in there with a couple of pink shades. So I applaud that. It does seem a little unfocused though. Like there's a couple of bright shades that just don't seem to have counters that they mesh well with, like just from these images, but then these could be really photoshopped and saturated. Like those swatches are definitely photoshopped, so it's hard to get an idea of what these actually would look like. I could see some people doing some fun looks with this. It'd be interesting to see what people do with this kind of palette, especially with like that hot pink. I would really be curious to see some fun looks with that. Kylie Cosmetics, pass. Just gonna keep on scrolling. Makeup Eraser has a SpongeBob collab, good lord. Oh, my son is obsessed with SpongeBob. He would love that. I got him a SpongeBob piñata for his birthday and he had a great time smashing it till the candy came out and then smashing it afterwards because he just wanted to have fun with it. But yeah, that's such a weird thing for a collab, but I guess it makes sense. The Natasha Denona Glam palette, I'm gonna sneak that in here as I skate past a couple of things I'm not sure what to say about. I want this palette. Does that surprise anybody? No. No, because Natasha Denona breathes and I'm like, give it to me. The palette is cool tone though, or at least a mix of sort of neutral shades and cool neutrals, so like nothing is overwhelmingly warm. Even the warmer shades still lean more to the cool side and it is fantastic. I know it looks a little dull, and this is the thing, people who don't like cool tones need to sit down and shut up and let us have our moment, because if we keep getting pushback from people, we're like, I don't like cool tones, it doesn't work for me, it's not flattering for me, it's boring. We are not going to continue to get cool tones. We're not going to get adventurous, exciting things. Brands are not going to go with the crazy cool tones first and like the dramatic shades or pigmentations or strange color stories. They are going to pick the most boring thing that's the most universally acceptable amongst a variety of different skin types and tones. I know there was a little bit of an issue with the shade names, but Natasha did show how you can pop the palettes out and rearrange it so like you don't have to take what the shade names say literally. If it says it's a crease shade, you don't have to use it in your crease. It's the same thing with any other eyeshadow palette you might use, and I know that there have been other brands who have sold stuff like that where it tells you like where to put the placements, and it doesn't mean you have to do it that way. I think that it's a pretty neat idea to do it that way. It's a really helpful way to be able to construct like an eye look without having to think about it too much, because the work's basically done for you. So I appreciate that. I think the palette's beautiful. I really would love to see some more cool tones in the future, and I really hope we see an expansion of cool tones that aren't neutrals from Natasha. And I think the palette is just, it is beautiful. And I wish it was making its way home to me, maybe someday. Okay, I don't really feel like talking about a lot of this holiday stuff because there's like blurry pictures, and most of the stuff is gonna be the same regurgitated stuff that we get every year anyway. I mean, it's the same stuff. We're not getting a lot of unique sort of holiday releases. It doesn't make sense. The KVD Vegan Beauty palette, I mean, it kind of looks like an Urban Decay palette, really, with mostly neutrals and a couple of shimmery shades. It would be nice to see somebody breathe some of that Kat Von D kind of life into KVD Beauty and kind of have the same sort of general aesthetic. That would be cool, but I don't see that happening. I mean, a lot of these are just gift sets. They're not very exciting. You know, get some Fenty lip glosses, some fresh gift sets, those are always good. I mean, Too Faced stuff is exactly the same. Changed my mind. Like it looks like the same stuff they release every single year. I mean, is it cute? That packaging with like the little raccoon with the pearls and stuff, that's adorable. The fox, adorable. But it's just the outside. Look, I mean, seriously, just if you look at those holiday things, they just look the same stuff. Like the same stuff we get every single year. Can't wait to see what Tarte does this year, because I'm sure it's gonna look the same as it did last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. Call me when a brand does something interesting and drops a really cool holiday collection. Okay, anyway, this was fun. I enjoyed just kind of casually talking about some of these new releases. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this, or if you would like to see a different kind of take on this, if you would like to see a more indie version or a mix of the two. I'm not doing anti-hauls because I'm trying to stay away from the pure negative, just so I can express a little bit of like pro and con, and just incorporate more of my personal opinions as opposed to trying to speak more generally, which is what I try to do with an anti-haul. Anyway, just rambling now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.